One day in the evening, all the disciples of Buddha came to Buddha. Buddha was sitting and saw his disciples coming and sitting around him. Buddha said to his disciples that I have taught almost all ethics to you all these days. Now I am going to ask you some questions. Try to answer these questions. All his disciples were eager to listen to these questions. Then Buddha asked the question, what is that thing which is sharper than any other thing in this world? Then one disciple stood and said to Lord Buddha, knife is sharper than anything in this world. Then Buddha smiled and said, the sharpest thing in this world is your tongue, that will not shed any blood, but it can hurt the hearts of every person deeply. So keep your tongue in your control, and while speaking to others, speak sweetly and nicely. Do not hurt anybody by your tongue. If your tongue is in your control, the entire world will become friends to you. Now Buddha asked second question. What is that which is heavy in weight than any other thing? All the disciples discussed about that, and one disciple said, elephant is heavy in weight than any other thing. Other disciple said, iron is heavier in weight than any other thing in this world. Then Buddha smiled and said, no sons, iron or elephant are not the heavier things in this world, but the heavier thing is the promise which you have given to somebody. Because if you promise to do something for someone, but you have forgotten to fulfill it, that is the only thing which is heavier than any other thing in this world. If you have given a promise and did not fulfill it, then you are almost equal to dead mentally. So always we must try to fulfill our promises. Before promising, you have to think twice whether you can fulfill this promise to some person to the fullest extent or not. And then you have to get ready to promise something to others. Then Buddha asked third question. What is that which is very far from us? Then one of the disciples said, sky is the farthest one than any other thing. Another disciple stood up and said, no, the stars are the farthest ones in this world than any other thing. And seeing his disciples, Buddha smiled and said, your answers are not correct. The farthest thing in this world is the past time, which never comes back again in our life. The time in our hands is so valuable thing. We have to make use of our time which is there with us now to the fullest extent. Otherwise, we will lose everything in our lives. Now Lord Buddha asked the fourth question. What is that which is very easy to do? Then his disciples said some answers which are not of worth. Then Buddha said, in this world, the easiest thing is giving suggestions to others. That is the only thing which is very easy to anybody. Gautam Buddha asked his fifth question. What is that which is your well-wisher in this world than any other person? Then some disciples said, mother and father are our well-wishers. Some others said, friends are our well-wishers. Then Buddha answered, death is only well-wisher of ours than any other thing in this world. It is because it releases the suffering soul from the bodily prison and gives the soul freedom, joy and happiness. Then after listening to Buddha's questions and answers, all the disciples were very happy and they left to their ashrams. Friends, the life lesson that has to be understood by this story is that firstly, we have to keep our tongue in control, otherwise you may face difficulties from others in this life. Secondly, if we have given a promise to others, you must fulfill it at any cost. And thirdly, our time is very valuable. The time which has gone will not come again. As there is a saying, time and tide wait for no man. So we have to utilize our time to the fullest extent. And the fourth one, Giving suggestions to others is very easy, but think and give suggestions to others in a right way. And lastly, our death is our only well-wisher, because this body, which is full of flesh and bones, gives troubles to us and to the soul which is within us. Death takes the soul bird out of the cage of the flesh and gives freedom, joy, and happiness to the soul. Death takes away all the pains which are arising from our body and frees the soul of all pain. Then soul feels a joyful feeling after the death of the physical body. The world which we live is third dimensional one, which has all types of sufferings. After death, the soul goes to fourth dimensional, which is full of love and freedom. The fourth dimensional body is made of life stones. The fourth dimensional body is also known as astral body or Sukshma Sharira, in which the body is made of light. Death takes away all our pains and gives us freedom. So death is our well-wisher than any other thing in this world.